What are your views on how Kenya can contain the terror attacks? What are your views on how Kenya can contain the terror attacks? The number is 22155. You can also tweet us with the hashtag Friday Briefing or at Betty Kyalo, and I'll be sharing your views as we move along. And in regard to that question and what we're discussing tonight, let me now bring in James Kisia, the Deputy Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Right. Now, what is the kind of situation that you have been dealing with today?
Well, this kind of situation is called a mass casualty incident. And the mass casualty incident is where you have many people injured or killed that require a coordinated approach in the response. And I think we continue to improve in our pre-hospital response. The first call, once the first call came in at 14:28, at least there were people from Kenya Red Cross there in 5 minutes. The ambulances were there in 14 minutes. Others from Avenue, Aga Khan, and Guru Nanak, as well as St. John's, arrived and were well coordinated. The key thing with the coordination is to make sure that the ones who are critically injured are taken to hospital first. So that they get attention before they lose too much blood.
We saw a lot of people milling around, the blast site. How did this affect rescue operations? Is it a problem that you always face?
This always is a hindrance to rescue operations, and even more importantly, it's a major risk for people, because sometimes you can have a blast and then there could be a secondary device that comes a few minutes later. So I think as Kenyans, we need to be quite careful with this, even though quite a number of people were taken by well-wishers. And that's the importance of for us training responders and just getting them to know what they need to do.
All right. Now, we understand that there is an information center. Maybe you can explain to us what it is all about and how is that working?
Yeah. As we do usually in mass casualty incidents, is we set up an operation center just outside of Kenyatta National Hospital. Oftentimes you have people who are not sure where their loved ones are. We have had now 7 of them that have been reunited with their loved ones because they come and report them, and we're able to tell them whether they are inside the hospital or been taken to another hospital. Right now, Aga Khan has some patients. Kenyatta National Hospital has majority of the patients. And, this tracing and these services will be available in the next few days to make sure that we reunite people with their loved ones.
All right. Now, we also know that according to police, 80 people have been injured and are currently receiving treatment in Kenyatta National Hospital. And they are in need of blood. Where can Kenyans donate blood?
Kenyatta National Hospital itself has a blood transfusion center, and that's one place that people can go. And majority of the people who are injured are actually at Kenyatta National Hospital. So it'd be good to replenish and to make sure that anybody with O positive, wants to donate blood, arrives there and does that. It does save lives.
All right. Now, with all this blast that we've been having, James, are Kenyans learning more and more how to deal with such situations? Can you say that?
Well, I think Kenyans are becoming more vigilant, and it's important that they become more vigilant. It's important that they know how to behave during these incidences, that once you hear a blast, you take cover and you make sure that you are in the lowest level that you can be in. I think we are becoming a lot more sensitive about these blasts, but I think they are unnatural. I mean, this is not human beings. The human brain can never get used to these kind of things.
All right. What about disaster preparedness of Kenya's institutions? Can you say that it's improving by the day?
I think we have had many disasters. There have been many discussions. And right now, if I tell you, we are working with many stakeholders and under the leadership of the Ministry of Health to make sure that the health part, the medical emergency part of disaster response is significantly improved. And you are seeing more coordination between the responders in the ambulance and the hospitals. Today we were able to say, look, Kenyatta National Hospital is handling so many. Can we can we divert them to Aga Khan? We call Aga Khan, they say yes, we have capacity. We call Nairobi Hospital, they say we have capacity. once we have taken enough, they say no more. So we are seeing that did not used to be the case, and I think under the ministry there's quite a bit of leadership that we are seeing in terms of coordinating response.
All right.
Yes.
Now, James, we surely hope that this incident will not happen again. But what happens if I'm caught up in that situation whereby there has been an explosion? You've mentioned some of the things that I should be able to do, but what are the tips on how I can make sure that I'm also safe, apart from not milling around the blast area? What else can I do just to make sure that I'm safe?
Yeah, I think once there's a blast, I think people should move away from there, because we have this experience from the American bomb blast, where the first bomb went off and then people rushed towards the place, and there was a bigger bomb blast. So, and we know that this can be a possibility. So I think once there's a blast, people should move completely away from the blast area, and let the professionals who handle this, the police, the ambulance services, who would know how to react to these things.
All right, James, thank you very much for your time.